on, everybody? It's JetsCentral coming back with some breaking NFL news that came out a minute ago. The Minnesota Vikings go out and fire offensive coordinator John Defilippo. Okay, they go out and they make this bombshell of a fire. And I gotta be quite honest with you. Actually, before I get into my thoughts, quick little background on Coach John. Very well respected guy, great football mind, great offensive mind. He has a pretty nice resume as far as his coaching destinations. He's had some time calling plays, he's had some time coaching quarterbacks, been around a lot of success, been around a lot of successful offenses throughout his tenure coaching in the National Football League. I like DiFilippo, okay, I really do. And interestingly enough, he was actually kind of being rumored as being the next New York Jets head coach, right, at the end of the season, because let's face it here, Todd Bowles is going to be gone. If not the Jets, I mean, there's going to be some other openings out there like the Cleveland Browns, like the Green Bay Packers, possibly the Baltimore Ravens, possibly the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think Arizona's going to move on from Wilkes, but in any case, there are going to be destinations, there are going to be head coaching spots available this offseason, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Coach DeFilippo, right? Is he going to still have those opportunities that he once had at the beginning of the season? I mean, because you take a look at the Minnesota Vikings offense, they have so much talent on that offense, but quite frankly, they're just not getting the job done. I mean, last night was an embarrassment against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, granted, you're playing in Seattle against the 12th man. Seahawks have a pretty solid defense, and, let's be real, the Seahawks are a pretty solid team this season. But bottom line is this, is that the Minnesota Vikings offense has underperformed this season. When you look at the landscape of talent that the Vikings have, Dalvin Cook, Rudolph, Thielen, who's having an outstanding season, and of course, Stephon Diggs, you take a look at that offense, and there are so many weapons for Kirk Cousins to utilize, right? And of course, they're all having pretty solid years, but it's just not showing up in the wins category, and that was one of the complaints or one of the concerns about Kirk in Washington, is that he's going to throw for touchdowns and yards. Garcon is going to have a great season. Deshaun Jackson, Jordan Reed, everybody's going to have great statistical seasons, but when it matters most, clutch moments, third and longs, crucial third downs, fourth down conversions in the red zone, Kirk Cousins does not show up, okay? And here are my thoughts on this firing. I know I might get some heat for it because it might not be the most popular opinion. I'm a big DeFilippo guy, okay? I think this firing was premature. I think this is I don't want to call it a witch hunt, but they used Coach John DeFilippo as a scapegoat because you cannot sell it to the fans, you can't sell it to your team that the quarterback that you just brought in on a 3-year fully guaranteed deal is the problem. When that, I believe, is the problem. I like Kirk Cousins. I think he's a good quarterback in this league. Is he a great quarterback in this league? You have to say no. You have to say no. And for the Vikings fans out there watching this video, I know it's a little bit of a tough pill to swallow, especially watching Case Keenum, a guy who hasn't really been, he wasn't a high first-round pick. He wasn't like a, highly regarded individual. He kind of was thrusted into the starting role as the Vikings quarterback and had a lot of success, didn't turn the ball over, threw for a lot of touchdown passes. Teammates loved him. You guys got a playoff win out of it too. I love Case. I actually like Case better than Kirk. But in any case, Kirk Cousins is, I believe, the reason why the Vikings are struggling on offense. You take a look at it. How is it possible? And DeFilippo is a better offensive coordinator than Pat Shurmur. I do fully believe that. I think he's a better offensive mind. But as far as this case goes, I think the Vikings offense right now, it's almost like you have too much, right? You have too many playmakers. You have too many wide receivers to throw to. You have a great tight end. You have a great running game. It's like you have too many choices, and you can't get set on one. You can't be decisive. And I think that's what Kirk Cousins is kind of facing throughout the season, because, when we all saw Adam Thielen dominating throughout the year, Kirk Cousins got a little bit of flack, like, oh, why are you throwing to Thielen? You have to get Diggs involved. Diggs is the better wide receiver. So even though Kirk Cousins was putting up great numbers, even though the Vikings were winning games, even though Thielen was just dominating the league, he still got criticism because he did not target Diggs. And as a quarterback, I think that messes with your psyche a little bit, because he's going through the reads, Thielen's getting open, he's delivering passes, he's doing well, he's having positive games, but yet he's still being criticized because he's not utilizing all of his maximizing all of his talent that he has on that team. So I believe that this Vikings team outed DeFilippo. They said, you know what, this guy's going to be gone at the end of the season anyway, he's going to go to a new team. He might have a head coaching opportunity. He's going to be gone. We can't put the blame. We can't point the finger at Kirk Cousins and say to the fans, to the team, to the world that Cousins is the problem. Why? Because then we look stupid because we just brought this guy in on a fully guaranteed 3-year contract, so you can't get rid of him after the end of this season. Okay? That's the issue. That's the issue. Is that the Vikings, again, it's not a witch hunt. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy thing, anything like that, but I'm just saying they said, you know what, Defilippo's on his way out. We're going to out him now. And I think that's a little shady of an organization to do because being fired as a coordinator and then getting head coaching interviews is pretty unheard of. So for the Vikings to go out there and do that, I believe that's just a little low as a franchise. And you only have a few games left. You don't have to make this bold statement to the world. You could have just rode out the season. Defilippo could have just rode off into the sunset in peace. And then the Vikings could have moved forward with a new offensive coordinator or promoted from within. So, I mean, it's not like they're going to get a huge jump start on it anyway because, we have the whole, tampering thing in the league anyway, so you can't really go and talk to other teams if you're the Vikings looking for a new offensive coordinator. So why not wait till the end of the season? Makes no sense. They just did not want to take the blame. They didn't want to look bad. They didn't want to look bad in front of the fans, in front of their teammates, or in front of their players, as an organization, because Kirk Cousins has not been getting the job done, so they outed John Defilippo. I know it's not the most popular opinion, but that's my opinion. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and go Jets.